Cushing's Triad. Let's quickly examine what Cushing's Triad is all about. Remember, this is not Cushing's syndrome. By way of definition, triad means three things are happening. What are those three things? Three signs of increased intracranial pressure. But I'll say three main signs under Cushing's Triad because we have more signs of increased intracranial pressure. We cannot fully understand what increased intracranial pressure is and the effect without knowing what the value of intracranial pressure and mean arterial pressure will be. So intracranial pressure is expected to be within this range, and anything greater than this, we'll call it higher end or higher value. Mean arterial pressure is expected to be within this range, and anything lower than this is hypoperfusion. And anything greater, we are dealing with hypertension. Now, the relationship between intracranial pressure and mean arterial pressure is such that when we have increased intracranial pressure, it means intracranial pressure will be greater than mean arterial pressure. And when we have that, there will be brain perfusion impairment, meaning the brain will not be well perfused. And brainstem herniation is at the door. So, it is a medical emergency. Now, the triad will be 1. Bradycardia, slow heart rate. Irregular respiration, bradypnea, that is respiratory rate that is low. The third component will be wide gap between systolic and diastolic blood pressure, known as widening pulse pressure. So, Cushing's Triad is bradycardia, irregular respiration, and widening pulse pressure. Now, let me quickly explain further that pulse pressure, like an example given here, is the difference between systolic and diastolic. Now, systolic blood pressure here is 180 millimeters of mercury, while diastolic is 100. If you find the difference, you're going to get 80 millimeters of mercury. Here, the pulse pressure is wide. The gap is too much because the expected pulse pressure should be nothing greater than 25% of systolic. So the expected one here should be around 45 millimeters of mercury, but we got 80. So this is greater. And you can see the reason why elderly people are usually having isolated systolic hypertension within normal range diastolic, and they are prone to wide pulse pressure. Besides the main three signs of Cushing's Triad of increased intracranial pressure, other clinical features of increased intracranial pressure will include altered level of consciousness, behavior will change, seizures, vomiting or becoming nauseated, very weak or lethargic, gait anomaly, can go into coma and die. Causes will include tumor, either primary brain tumor or metastasis to the brain, head injury, infection giving abscesses, or stroke. Still on causes, anything that will lead to swelling in the brain, like cerebral edema from traumatic brain injury, ischemic stroke, hyponatremia, CSF accumulation like in hydrocephalus, bleeding in the brain giving hematoma. The treatment. Since it's an acute emergency, we have to elevate the head of the bed and hyperventilate. But we have to do that transiently, please, meaning we don't hyperventilate for a long time. Hyperventilation is actually controversial. Why that? It could be harmful. But the advantages and disadvantages will still be stated that hyperventilation will bring down the intracranial pressure very fastly, will decrease the level of CO2, giving us hypocapnia, and also decrease vasodilation within the brain, but will also increase vasoconstriction and decrease cerebral blood flow. This will be harmful if it is persistent. It will decrease cerebral blood volume, that's another advantage, and decrease the tension within the brain, giving relaxation. The neurosurgeons will love to hyperventilate when they are having craniotomy. Now, still on treatment, it will be better to save the life by consulting neurologists in your jurisdiction for definitive management, or neurosurgeon for craniotomy, as the case might be, after investigation. You can have CT scan done pretty fast, magnetic resonance imaging if it's available, then metabolic panel, but in this case, comprehensive metabolic panel, clotting profile, because we've been talking about bleeding, and other possible tests as history or physical examination of both might suggest. Steroid could be administered depending on your judgment. You can give monitor, continue monitoring, or transfer to neuro unit or intensive care unit. Thanks for listening. It is better we know what is responsible and will help that man or woman out of the predicament. I appreciate this. Please remember to subscribe to my channel.